Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to give you guys a quick update on my experience with the Nexus 10. So of course this does represent the best blend of both hardware and software currently available in the marketplace in the form of a tablet. You're looking at Android version 4.2, which of course is Jelly Bean, all sorts of new features brought to the table, and of course the entire user interface has been revamped. We've got a Google search bar that is permanently docked at the top of the tablet now, something that some of you will hate. Others will love, maybe the love category, a bit of a minority, but I really don't take tremendous issue with that like some of my colleagues out there. But in terms of the overall performance of the tablet, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. We're looking at the 32 gigabyte version, so this is the $500 model. Pretty pricey, but you do get what you pay for here, and that's the good news. This is manufactured by Samsung in Korea, and we're looking at, first and foremost, the highest resolution PLS display on the planet, 2560 by 1600 resolution, and I can tell you guys it has gone above and beyond my expectations. Viewing angles are stellar, color reproduction and accuracy really above and beyond any other display that I've ever seen. It just makes everything else look last generation. So for those of you out there who've been reading about reviews talking about that it's somewhat subpar, not really living up to that high resolution, I don't know what kind of display they're looking at. Maybe they've got a lemon in their hands, but overall, outside of some reports about some backlight bleed here and there, which pretty much prop up with just about every tablet on the market, Samsung has done a really nice job with this display, whether you're looking at reviewing pictures, video, or just browsing the web. Of course, that's where the resolution really shines, since very few applications are optimized to this extraordinarily high new standard for resolution, at least in the tablet space. So let's talk about the dual-core A15 Exynos processor that's powering the entire experience. It's complemented by 2 gigs of RAM, and so far I've seen zero lag. Really no hiccups at all. Everything I've thrown at this device really fast. I did sideload Flash so that I at least retain my ability to have that Flash experience, because out of the box, no Flash with this tablet. Part of the Jelly Bean experience, Flash has been abandoned since it is no longer supported, and Chrome is your stock browser, so no Flash experience there. I did install Dolphin as well as Boat Browser to use Flash there. Dolphin is the better experience in my opinion. As you can see, everything is really fast. I'll show you a load time right now. We'll go to CNN, and I just have to say the Wi-Fi chipset on here is stellar. Everything loads up very, very quickly. When I check the actual signal strength, I'm seeing roughly 3 times at least the signal strength out of this chipset as opposed to what I found even in the Galaxy Note 10.1, which is arguably the only tablet that I think that stands up to the Nexus 10 in any form or fashion. So really impressed with this. The browsing experience very smooth. Really nothing you can say negative in my opinion right now. So I'm kind of baffled by the poor or mixed reviews that the Nexus 10 has received from some outlets, but overall the web browsing experience incredible, complemented extremely by that very high resolution PLS display, which in my opinion looks better than any of the IPS competition. So really pleased with the overall experience that this offers in the web browsing department. Nice that you've got the option to still have Flash as a capability. I want to talk to you guys about some of the other enhancements, part of the new look and feel of Jelly Bean 4.2. So we've got 2 different notifications now on the left and right, and a lot of people have looked at this and said, I do not understand why we've got notifications on both sides of the screen. Obviously, originally down at the bottom of the tablet, they've now been relocated up to the top. What I can tell you guys, in my experience, is that to me, using this tablet with 2 hands when you pick it up, it's pretty clear that Google felt that your thumbs are always going to be the easiest way to get to important information rather than having to jump down to the bottom of the screen. And from that perspective, I can see where they're coming from. In day-to-day use, it's become very natural for me to pull them down. Not sure why they didn't want to pull them into one menu, because that is what we're all accustomed to as Android users, regularly. But I can at least see where they're going with that dual notification and shortcut to your settings like you have here, brightness and your network, airplane mode, all of those things right there. It's convenient, not quite as convenient as what you'd find with the Galaxy Note 10.1 and the way TouchWiz handles it. But obviously, if you're interested in a Nexus device, then the TouchWiz interface is really not on your radar. But back to Jelly Bean. Besides the notifications, and as I mentioned before, that permanent Google search bar that you have to deal with, you've also got your docked applications here at the bottom, as well as your launcher right in the dead center, and really everything that we would all have come to expect from a Nexus experience. But the other point of contention is this sort of phablet UI that the Nexus 10 leans on, the unifying user interface that we now all face with Jelly Bean. And as a result, we now have our back home button and multitasking button, or task killer, I could call it really, all here at the center of the device, rather than the traditional areas that we had them in the past, which were on the left and right side. Notifications were docked here on the right, and our back home and multitask button were here on the left. And, so far, it certainly isn't as intuitive, in my opinion, as having it docked on the left side, because it's very easy when you're holding the tablet to just, put your finger, your thumb right there on the back button. But I think the logic here is also simple. If you're in a web browser, then your hands, again, are going to be holding the tablet in this sort of fashion, and your thumb is going to have the ability, your left thumb, to go back on the tablet browser without having to reach down here to actually use the back button. But from a convenience standpoint, I can see why a lot of users would like to see this back button back where it belongs. And I'm not trying to be cute, I do agree, but this is really a very minor gripe, and if it's going to be the difference between getting applications to work uniformly across all different platforms, it's a very, very small price to pay. So not a big deal in my opinion, but that's another thing you guys should be aware of. Otherwise, not going to really touch on a lot of different things. Just wanted to give you guys a rough update so you get an idea of what the Nexus 10 is really operating like. And so far, I am really enjoying the performance. It really just makes every other tablet look slow in every single department. And the fact that it's got the best screen on the market certainly does not hurt in any way. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, like I said before, I didn't mention Bluetooth, but all have performed really well. I'm not noticing any bugs. The audio performance from these speakers, really, really strong. And it's about on par with the Nexus 10, but because of the way it's been designed, it really makes it so that even though a grill extends along the entire side of the tablet, which I'll show you guys right now, and I showed you guys in the unboxing, it does extend across the entire length of the bezel. The speakers really seem to only be isolated into the top third of that speaker grill. So as a result, when you're holding the tablet, you're not going to actually impede any of the audio experience, which is a good thing, because at first I was worried, when you'd be holding it, even though it's got a real broad spread, you might be blocking it. The only way you'll block it is if you actually place your left and right thumb right over the top part of the speaker, the top part of the tablet where it actually begins, because that's where the majority of the sound is going to emanate from. In terms of other things you guys should know about the Jelly Bean experience, it has the multi-user accounts. I'm not going to get into that today because I do not have it set up right now. But overall, just performance has been really solid. Application support in the Play Store has also been pretty solid, but granted, it's going to take some time to get even more Jelly Bean support for this sort of resolution. Haven't seen a lot of things that are leveraging it yet. Video on it does look great, whether it's Ice Age, which was included, or Transformers, which I have from the Nexus 7. All of those things look really great on this display in HD, as does watching YouTube 1080p clips. Really just shine on this resolution. We're not going to be able to get up to native resolution for some time, at least through any streaming services, but overall, everything just works as it should, and I only anticipate that this will get better since it is a Nexus device, and all of its updates are going to continue to come directly from Google. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about is battery performance, because battery life has been another area of I don't want to say controversy, but something a lot of people are talking about. We're looking right now, if you're going to leave brightness cranked up and really leverage the screen, you're going to get somewhere between, I would say, 6 and 7 hours at best. However, if you're willing to really try to go into a power saver mode, maybe even use airplane mode here and there, certainly keep Bluetooth off all the time, you're going to be able to squeak out, at least in the time I've spent with it, closer to that 9 to 10 hours that we'd all like to be able to get out of this tablet, since it does have a fairly large battery, I believe 9,000 mAh. So pretty high milliampage. Would like to see it get longer battery life. That's something that also can be optimized through updates, so I'm not really too concerned about that yet. Another thing, though, I want to point out about the battery life is that right now, because this device is only charging through the micro USB port and the micro USB charger that's included that I showed in the unboxing, and not the Pogo proprietary port here at the bottom, which I assume will bring us rapid charging, charge times right now are extremely long. I've been looking at really 5 to 6 hours at the very best to get this tablet charged up, which is the longest I've seen from any tablet. But in the same vein, yet another small price to pay to get what, in my opinion, is the closest you're going to come to a computer experience in terms of speed, functionality, and ease of use, and really just further blurring the line between what tablets and computers are capable of. After all, that's the reason this dual-core A15 chip is also in the brand new Chromebook. It really is a performance champ at its price point. So really enjoying everything about this tablet so far. Yes, there are some things that make it slightly inferior from a software standpoint for many of you out there to something like the Galaxy Note 10.1. Because TouchWiz does offer a lot of polish that the Nexus 10 doesn't have. But if you're looking for the fastest, latest hardware that you're going to get, along with the best software experience, the Nexus 10 so far is living up to just about every expectation I could have possibly had for it. The only downside, and this is the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with, is I've had no success so far with storage expansion through on-the-go cables. So that micro USB port so far, as per Google's wishes, is disabled, and I have not been able to get a jump drive or external hard drive to work with it unless I use this Nexus Photo Viewer app. That will allow you to at least read external storage, but nothing with external hard drives. To clarify, this tablet is not capable of powering any external hard drives, at least in my arsenal thus far. So you will be able to get at least read functionality out of a jump drive using that Nexus Photo Viewer, which you can get through the Play Store for free. There's also a purchase version, which if you root the tablet, will allow you to actually read and write, but rooting will be required, and that will void warranty, so keep that in mind. Look forward to giving you guys more updates as I get to spend more time with it and really give you just more in-depth knowledge about what the Nexus 10 has to offer. But so far, really liking it. Hope you guys enjoyed the update. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.